This is Noxie, and she has been a very good bike to me this past year, but I could have been a better owner to her, to be completely honest. And this video is kind of a bit of accountability, because I have slacked in some of the maintenance, especially over summer. And you think, oh, I can wait to do the oil change or to bleed the brakes. Suddenly months go by and she is in desperate need. So that's what today's video is about. I do apologise, I'm going to have to make this into a two-part series. I was going to try and cram it all into one video, but when I was editing the New Year video, my laptop had a fit. So I'm trying to keep the videos small so that it doesn't cry out in protest when trying to process the video, hence the two-part. I hope I'm not being annoying with that. So here is day one, where we went through a whole service list. I'll pop the whole list of stuff we did on the screen now. I also want to say a big thank you to James. He was a massive help, obviously, with, you know, making sure everything was up to scratch, and also allowing me to obviously film the day so I can sort of show you what's going on with Noxie, and explaining to me everything I asked and more, so that I've walked away with a lot more knowledge and feel like I've had a crash course in mechanics, to be quite honest. And yeah, you'll just see the amount of work that went into this bike. So massive thank you to James. All of his details on the screen. I can highly recommend him if you are local to the area. Go and give him a shout. All right, on to the video. Please don't judge me.
Right, well there's your radiator out anyway. Hey. So now you should be able to see a little bit easier. So that will press seal in along there. Yeah. And they will wrap round, and that's where its leaking sits.
What is that?
Something's impacted it at some point. Oh. You can see just in the bottom here it's starting to go furry. You can see it's just starting to bulge just in there. That means the aluminium housing's just starting to swell slightly and pop out whatever's in there.
So it's not happy?
No. It's showing its age.
Yeah.
This radiator's got slightly wider cores on it, so it will help with the cooling during the summer.
Okay, cool.
When you're racing fire blades down the dual carriageway,
yeah.
You know.
I don't know about.
Obviously, being aftermarket, it's not 100% square to the old one. That's on. Are we going to see how bad this oil looks when it comes out? Oh. One lump or two? Oh, that's hot, mate. That is black. Very black. Well, all I'm going to say is you have definitely got your money's worth out of that oil.
Literally, I don't know. Money and miles worth.
Oh, yeah.
Was the old one red as well?
It would have been at some point, yeah. It's done its job.
It has.
The bike is still running.
Well done, Noxie.
So
she might as well be a Honda at this point. She's been running with subpar things and still works.
Nice clean contact surface in there, so when the new O-ring goes in there, it seals up nice and tight, and you're not going to get any leaks or anything. Filter goes on, and that squeezes down like that. And you've got your top protector cap that sits over the top. It wasn't as bad as I thought.
Yeah, at least there was no like unidentifiable
lumps coming out of it. That was the main thing. That was the thing I was a bit worried about, whether we were going to see lumps of bit coming out.
Yeah.
This will be the interesting thing. So I'll empty the oil drum out now, and we see what's left in the bottom of the oil drum, whether there's any bits.
Like residue.
Metal bits, copper bits, brass bits. That's what we don't want to see.
What would that be an
Bearings
indication
to the bottom
of?
end of the engine.
Oh god.
Well past its sell-by date, the oil, but,
but
there's no shiny bits in it, which is the main thing.
Yeah, that's a very different colour, isn't it?
Just a tad. So what we've done for now, we are pretty much on the maximum marker. We're going to start it up. The oil filters are going to absorb oil, and then obviously the level is going to change slightly, but that's because the system's primed, it's filled itself up.
Yeah.
And obviously, and then we'll check for the right oil level after that. we turn it off and we just let it all settle back down to the bottom. And then that might be just under halfway, might need topping up, might be just under the minimum. The oil filter's quite a big oil filter for this little engine, so it's absorbed a lot of oil in there. Just like that.
Can you see this in here?
Yeah.
It's been shaved down. That's what I thought was causing the stiffness problems.
No, it's just rubbing, that's all that is.
But we put some grease in there as well, so it shouldn't necessarily be the problem. But
I'll tell you exactly what the problem is.
what's that?
I reckon that wheel bearing's gone, because I can't turn that very well.
Oh no, what does that mean?
That's awfully tight for a wheel bearing. That is awfully tight. That side's even tighter. Your front wheel bearings are gone.
How does that happen?
Their bearings, they just age out. They get dirt, grease, muck in them, they age out. They are really tight.
Right, so that's what's causing its stiffness?
Yep. So that there,
Yeah.
that in a race, should turn really freely. But I'm forcing my finger to turn that around.
Yeah.
That wheel bearing's gone.
That's why I have to throw my weight at the bike to get it out of the
That's
garage.
why it's not handling very well. Yeah, I mean the pads are sticking slightly, but yeah, those wheel bearings are
I don't necessarily notice it when I'm riding.
You won't, because the engine is, the bike is forcing itself along.
Yeah.
Okay, not a problem. Shouldn't be a problem. We can get them out right. We can go up the road to a place up the road that sells bearings and bearings only.
Okay.
And we should be able to get a set of bearings today. That's why you're having trouble then, because the wheel bearings had it.
I genuinely thought I'd like lost all my strength the first time it happened. Because I was like, I'm surely I've not got shorter. Because you know, if I can't get much grip on the floor, I can't push the bike back. And it was stuck, and I was like, what is going on? And even today when you picked up the bike, that was a surprise I could get it out of the garage.
Yeah, I mean that was tight, and I thought, well, I can imagine the brakes being a little bit tight on those.
Yeah. So what we've discovered is half of the bike needs attention.
Yep.
See how clean these wheels are though? I spent ages on this.
Wheels are clean, bearings are not.
No. Only the front wheel's clean as well, because the rear one just consistently is dirty.
Oh, don't even go there, we're trying to keep the rear wheel clean. Concerning.
You are?
That should be dribbling oil out right about now.
Oh.
Should be. Shouldn't be looking like that.
Why does it look like that?
It's aged out, that's all that is.
Okay.
You are going to have to learn how to ride this bike again, you do know that. Nice free wheel bearings, shocks that are actually doing the right job on the front. Wow.
But is fork oil something a normal, like, rider with, or is this a garage job? Because
This is
I
a
wouldn't know how
garage
to do
job.
that.
Unless you know what you're doing, this is a garage job. Yeah, this is definitely a garage job. Right, there's your dust cover.
Yeah.
So that is just the protective dust cover that stops any dirt getting down towards the actual seal itself. And then, in here, is the fork seal itself. Nice!
It's been like 2 months since I've had a bike that, you know, hasn't had problems, that I thought didn't have problems. It's been 2 months since my throttle cable issue started.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Been that long?
Yeah. Because that's when I took the old grips off.
Yeah.
And then obviously it was out of action, sort of. I could ride it, but I didn't really want to. And then fix that. Then I decided I should top up the coolant, and all hell broke loose.
Where have I put that bottle of squirt? Oh, that one's just down there. What's that over there? That's it. I'll just clean all the old remnant of oil out of here.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of dirt in the bottom, so which is a good thing. So normally you can see like real sediment in the bottom, but this has got next to nothing in the bottom of that. Little bit, not a lot. Some of them they come out like real thick, slimy, black sludge comes out the bottom. But you haven't got a lot come out of that at all really, so that's a good thing. Over the years, when you buy slightly older bikes, over the years you have to replace these because they do wear, they do collapse, springs do collapse after a while. Yours wouldn't have collapsed just yet, no way. So that'll be alright.
I don't really put the suspension through much hard work. I don't do stunts or anything like that.
Yeah, so you're not putting it through its paces.
No, as long as she brakes, that's the extent of her suspension. Yeah.
So it has to sit inside a sleeve.
Yeah.
So it sits inside here.
Yeah.
This bit sits inside there, and then it stops the shock coming out. But obviously it stops the shock going too far down. And you've got to try and get it all pressed, clipped, back together, so it all slots back in, as you can see on there now. That opens and closes slightly, so it gives you that just enough to clamp round the tube of the shock.
I expect it to be red.
Red rubber grease, so it protects the seal and it keeps the rubber. It helps it slide down, and you're not going to snag it on anything on its way down. And then obviously it protects it as well, stops it from getting too stressed out. So that now goes down like that. And now we beat the living daylights out of it with a fork slide hammer. Technical words they are. Now that stops the seal from coming out. That's locked in there. That will stop the seal from coming out. Now, new dust cover.
Yeah.
And then we do the same again, repeat the process with the dust cover. We put new dust cover in. They give you a measurement from the top of the shock down to about there. You fill that with oil, and then obviously you put the spring back in, you put everything back together.
Yeah.
And you go from there. So we'll nip that bottom up while we're here now. Now we know that's all pieced back together. And when filling it up as well, you have to kind of bleed the fork out a bit.
Should get rid of the old stuff.
To get rid of the air.
Okay.
So that tube in the middle, that old bolt seal, that's part of the dampening. So that also stops it from going down too quick, but stops it from coming up too quick.
Yeah.
So what we'll do is once we've filled it with oil, pump it up and down a few times like that, you hear it gurgle, 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 and the level will drop down slightly, and then you know you've got no air in there then. Look at the colour of that oil compared to what come out of it.
The stuff that came out wasn't even black, it was just like a murky grey.
Sludge. Like that. Whoa! Raw, done.
Easy peasy.
Easy peasy when you sort of know what you're doing.
Yeah.
So now, I'll clean that up in a minute, but now, if you do that, you've got a lot more.
Yeah, that's how forks should
spring pressure, yeah.
Yeah.
One down, one to go.
And that's not even the one that was broken.
Yeah.
So if this is leaking, is that because the seal is not...
The seal's worn out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bit of dirt maybe, or the rubber's just cracked and perished.
Yeah.
It's had a bit of salt off the road getting it maybe.
Probably.
Could have anything
Yeah.
that's got past it, and it's just caused it to leak past.
Yeah.
And that locks back up in the top. But it's very slow at coming back up because there's no pressure inside it.
Yeah.
Absolutely caked in it. But you only need a tiny little bit of oil there, and every bit of dirt, you know, the cleanest bit of road you go down, and you'll see loads of dirt stuck to it.
Yeah.
Colour are we going to get today?
Green.
Comes out green, I'm worried. I'm really worried.
Kawasaki green.
That'll be entertaining if it does. If you can get your fork oil to come out Kawasaki green, I will, hats off. Well played.
Is this a point again where you said there should be sludge coming out already?
Kinda, yeah.
Why is that clearer? Oh, there we go. There's the sludge.
These have been done before.
Have they?
Yeah, because that smells like ATF oil, red ATF oil, which you can use in it. It's thin enough to be used. Official. Look at that. Nice. That one turns.
It works.
That one turns round. If only it done free spinning like that.
A free spinning wheel. Look at that. It's a miracle.
Does your speedo work? Just have a look at that, see if that actually works.
I mean, that's at 5 miles an hour.
Yeah, that's working then.
Yep.
Look at that.
Amazing what bearing does, isn't it?
Yeah, it's amazing what bearing does.
For mine.
So, there's your brake pads.
Yeah.
You got a bit of life left in them, but not a great deal of life left in them.
Yeah. Well, I've never changed them, so I have no idea how old they are.
So I pop the sliders out, and they're all supposed to be nice free moving, and they're not. We'll clean the pistons up a little bit. We'll push them back in. We'll clean these up. Put the sliders back together. Put it all back together with a bit of grease on it, and then fingers crossed that'll move in and out nice and easy, and that'll make your life easier on the brakes as well.
Yeah.
They sit down on a spring. It says, get it in the right way.
And they're a pretty colour as well.
Yeah, they won't be after you've bedded them in. No, don't stay that colour for long.
It's one of those things, I'll know they're there. I'll know the effort was there. Like, my front sprocket is bronze. No one can see it.
No.
I know it's there though.
Coolant hoses, you know, no one can see that the fact that I've got nice bright orange coolant hoses all over the bike. Alright, let's just tuck all this round here so if any of this is brake fluid. Will eat the paint if you get it on too much stuff, you don't wash it off, will eat the paint away. That is your brake fluid reservoir. That should be very, very almost clear.
Okay, it is very, very not clear.
No.
So is this going to be bleeding the brakes?
So yeah, we're just going to bleed the brakes. So we're going to push all the old fluid back through.
Yeah.
And get rid of it. All new fluid, hydraulic fluid then holds pressure better and for longer.
So I've heard you have to be careful with bleeding the brakes to not get air.
Let us know when that is virtually empty.
Okay. Yeah, basically empty now.
So that's now free spinning with new brakes in there.
So you can hear the new brake pads.
Yep. So inside your cap you have your brake master diaphragm. Yep. Get that wipe down. Look at that. What you do, what I found easiest now is we'll open the pads up slightly in the caliper. We'll put this back down and screw it down tight. Once it's screwed down tight, and then you pump the piston back out, it pulls that diaphragm down slightly. When you let go of the brake, that diaphragm then retracts, pulls the fluid back fractionally, just takes that tiny millimetre, not even a millimetre's worth of pressure off the brakes, stops them holding on.
Smart.
Little screwdriver, open the pad up slightly. Yep. That then goes back on there and creates a vacuum seal inside there. That is now full. So that level you can see there, that's your full level. So you'll be able to see as a visual now, when that starts going down, you know your pads are wearing low, because you can now start to see where the level is.
So the level of that corresponds to when the pads are getting low.
So you've got brand new pads in there, so the fluid should be right at the top. When you get, if you were to get halfway down that sight glass, you know your pads are just about done then.
Okay.
So bearing in mind I've wound that lever out to its fully extent there.
Yeah.
But there, that is a new lever on there. So what you think to that on the actual grip wise of the lever?
Yeah.
That's a lot firmer than what it was.
Yeah, it's usable. I mean, I have it on too.
Bearing in mind your pads are still soft, they'll need to bed in. So 100, 150 miles, the pad, actual surface of the braking pad will stiffen up as it beds itself in slightly. That will get firmer and firmer, and that will get sharper and sharper on the brakes as well. Rolling stoppies, here we go.
Well, I guess with functional forks.
Yeah, hold it. Yeah, keep it on the front.
That's out of the question.
Looks a lot better now. It's got the mudguard back in though.
Yeah. She's starting to look like a bike again.
Yeah, until we take the back half apart.
Yeah.
We'll have a look at the back ones quickly, because some of these can be a pain in the bum when the caliper's in there. Yeah, because that wants the exhaust taken off really, which is a pain.
Really?
Yeah, so you've got two bolts that come through here to get to the caliper. So it'd be a case of undoing that section there, taking the link pipe and this bit of the exhaust off. Oh, that's tight.
Don't tell me we need more bearings.
Fucking not. We're not taking the rear out, so we'll take the caliper off, and if it's still tight, then we may have to look down the line to taking the wheel out for the bearings. But yeah. tank.